Guys, so it's not a secret that I don't like people. In this, I'm that person that I love animals more than I do people and everything. And here's the thing: like my extrovert self is not allowed to make plans because my introvert self will literally come in and be like, "No, we're gonna cancel your plans." So the reason I say that is because my boss she throws a Fourth of July. This is the second year of her husband throwing like a Fourth of July party. And for those of you that don't know, I do work at an Italian restaurant and I work at a coffee shop. But anyway, she hosts a Christmas 4th of July party, her and her husband. And this if she asked me, it's like, do you want to come? I was gonna ask you, but I know you don't like people. So we got into a whole conversation about how my extrovert self is not allowed to make plans. Because my introvert self always goes behind and cancels them. Because I explained to her how my New Year's self a couple of years ago made like these plans to go out with friends on the extrovert side. But the day of New Year's came, and I'm like, I kept going back and forth, like, I don't want to go out and everything. Very good thing I did because my friend Bethany and a few friends that did go ended up getting COVID. Like, my friend Bethany tested positive for COVID. And so it was like, good thing I didn't go because I would have been exposed to COVID. And I was so happy that I did not go. But anyway, being an introvert sucks. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there because yeah. But anyway, for those of you that are new here, this is just a breezy chat. This is my podcast to my YouTube channel, Breezyville. I also have at least 4 more podcasts. True Crime Lounge, Dark Academia Queen, Sassy Southern Belle, and Down the Rabbit Hole. If you're new here, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. But we all know I hate people. This is why I have like 20 million different podcasts. Just kidding, I don't have that many. But but I had to share that story today. I think that was the perfect story to share before I start episode 7 of season 3. But anyway, um, but for real though, y'all, I hope everyone is having a happy 4th. Stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. Remember, it's a holiday weekend and everything else. So, but yeah, I don't even know why that stare. I'm like literally being sidetracked for like a minute now, just focused on that one thing. But let's jump right into where we are, because we're almost to the point where I'm gonna be leaving Tennessee. Almost to the point where I'm leaving Tennessee. So I'm gonna kind of rush through like some of the events episodes 7 and 8 just because I think it's important to know where I'm going versus where I'm coming from. Because I believe as one says, in order to get where you're going, you have to know where you're coming from. Even if you don't know where you're coming from, don't know where you're going. But anyway, I also have I'm not gonna say it yet because I don't want to jinx it because I really want to keep that part private for a reason. But anyway, we're in my 4th year at Wallace, and I have changed, and I am at this point very happy at Wallace. I'm having stability in my life and everything else, and everything seems to be going really well for me in my life. And it sounds crazy. Um, I'm still battling mental health, is obviously, but but I'm not actually doing anything at this point. At this point in my life, just to treat it yet. But anyway, so this is the same year I am in my 4th year at Wallace. I've joined many different clubs. I'm like secretary or whatever role I hold in the Rotaract Club at Wallace and everything. I'm also in like YOP and everything, Student Government Association. But also the same year is when COVID happened. So me and my friend Bethany, we both take this accounting class and it's online. But we both like technically it's in person at different times, but it's online technically because this is the year of COVID and everything. But and like we were staying in the library and she knew like she could see like I was not myself. Like you know when you've been at a place too long, you emotionally get into that place where you're like you're not happy, you can feel it, like you get emotionally, mentally emotionally and mentally drained from being somewhere. But I knew I couldn't just quit the job, and I was thinking like she could see me at my worst, like how emotionally done I was. I was trying so hard. Um, I really wanted to get a paralegal job and everything, so I was like, so I go to check my student email, and everything, and I get this email from my instructor. By the way, love her. She's a very amazing teacher. Her husband's one of the judges in Coleman County, so if you know if you know him, you probably gone up against him a time or two. But I go on my first paralegal job. I'm so stressed out. Like at this point, I was like, I didn't even tell anybody at my other job that I was this job, my job at the time that I was going for this interview because I really just wanted to make sure I got the job before I tell people. And like there was a lot of job drama also going on, particularly between one person and everything. And sometimes it's not always the place that makes the job bad. Just sometimes it can just be one person. I'm not gonna name names just because, but I do love the job. I still love most of the people at that job, and everything. And it's a great place to. It was a great first job for me. I was just there longer than I had anticipated. But anyway, I go to like the job interview. It's like my first paralegal job. I'm so nervous. I get there like 30 minutes early because I want to get there early. Never been to the place, even though it's in Coleman. Coleman is a relatively like small town, and everything. So I'm there like 30 minutes early. It is September, I think. Yeah, September. And everything, and it's blazing hot. I'm in like office, like this cute little pencil skirt. A this button up shirt, nice perfect blazer and everything to go with the interview and everything. Cute pair of shoes too. Don't even own those shoes anymore. But anyway, I ended up getting the job. Very nice attorney. I stayed there until he closed down and went to go work for another attorney. They didn't have any paralegal positions. I became jobless and everything for most of that summer until I got an internship, which I will talk about later. But it was one of those things where it was just like being jobless that summer really took a toll on me, like mentally, emotionally, and everything. And I didn't know like where I was going. Like my pride was more hurt than anything. But it was like I don't know how to explain it. I was staying with some friends at the time because where I was living at had just got done flooding, and it was in Hansville. So here's the thing about the house I was living at. Two amazing women who are my family, and they can tell you this. Like, so the house is not labeled as a flood area. It should be labeled, but it's not. And this is like the third time or so that it flooded. I want to say, no, we were doing housework at the time. That's what it was and everything. But it is a flood zone that I'm so glad they sold the house. I got to see him this past week, and I was so happy too because I really needed to see him. You know, like that feeling where like you get so lonely when you don't see people you're familiar with, and sometimes you just need to. These ladies became family to me, and I love them. I really do. But yeah, but but I got my first paralegal job, and I was so happy because I was starting to get some experience in the field, and knowing like this is what I wanted to do. I also became a notary at that time as well and everything. But yeah, but that is it for episode 7. Join me next time as we talk about a lot more stuff and finally me it leads to the point of me moving to Tennessee in June of 2023.